Before the postman ever knocks on your door, the package must already bear your name. In the spiritual world, blessings do not wander aimlessly. They are sent with a seal, a mark, a signature in the unseen. Most people miss their good, not because it was never sent, but because they never signed for it in spirit. The universe will not deliver what you have not acknowledged as yours. There is a divine document already drawn up for your health, your wealth, your happiness. But until your invisible signature rests upon it, it remains undelivered. Today I will teach you how to sign for your blessing before you see it, so that nothing and no one can claim it but you. Most people live as if life is an unannounced guest, bringing whatever it pleases and leaving whenever it chooses. They do not realize that the unseen world operates like the most precise postal system in existence. In that postal system, nothing is sent without an address, and nothing is delivered without a signature. Every blessing, every answered prayer, every desire fulfilled, must be signed for, and that signature is not ink on paper. It is the firm agreement of your heart, mind, and words that what you seek is already yours. Without that agreement, the blessing is like a letter returned to sender, marked unclaimed. You see, the spiritual realm does not recognize begging, it recognizes ownership. When you plead, you declare separation. When you sign in the spirit, you declare possession. There is a vast difference between saying, "I hope I will have this someday," and declaring, "This is mine now, in the unseen, and it is on its way to me." One statement leaves your envelope blank, the other addresses it to you with divine precision. I have seen students who prayed for years and saw nothing change. They worked harder, tried longer, gave more, yet the thing they wanted remained far from them. When I looked closely, I saw the reason. Their language was full of someday, maybe, and if it's God's will. They had never signed their name in faith. They had never taken invisible ownership. The blessing was prepared, but it had no legal right to enter their lives because their spirit had not claimed it. Imagine for a moment that you ordered a priceless jewel, something so precious you had been waiting for it all your life. The jeweler sends it by registered mail, requiring your signature on delivery. The courier arrives, but you stand at the door and say, "I'm not sure if this is for me. I'll sign for it later, maybe when I feel more ready." What happens? The courier leaves, the jewel returns to the sender. Not because it wasn't yours, but because you refused to claim it. Spiritually, this happens every day. Blessings are dispatched, opportunities are prepared, healings are released, but the recipient fails to sign. Your invisible signature is made of 3 elements: thought, word, and feeling, all aligned. You must think as the owner, speak as the owner, and feel as the owner. If even one of these is missing, the signature is incomplete, and the delivery is delayed. Think of a legal contract with only half the pages signed. The transaction is not binding until every mark is in place. Let me tell you something important. The moment you sign in spirit, the blessing becomes legally yours in the court of heaven. Earthly time may still need to carry it from the unseen into your hands, but no other person, no outside force, can intercept it. You have placed your mark, and that mark is your spiritual proof of ownership. This is why I tell my students never to wait until they see to believe. The seeing is the postman. The believing is the signature. And yes, some of you will say, "But Florence, what if I sign for it in spirit and nothing comes?" My answer is this: nothing can come without the signature, so the act of signing already brings you closer than you have ever been. Many of you have been standing at the door without a pen in hand. You must understand, heaven's ledger works differently than earth's. On earth you sign, after you receive. In spirit, you sign before you receive. This is the law. Do not worry about how the blessing will find you. That is the work of the divine dispatcher. Your work is to be ready to sign, and to keep your signature alive every day. How do you keep it alive? By refusing to contradict it. If you have signed for wealth, you cannot speak of lack. If you have signed for love, you cannot declare loneliness. If you have signed for health, you cannot glorify sickness. Every time you speak against what you have signed for, it's like scratching out your own name from the delivery slip. Now, I will give you a secret that has brought miracles to many. Once you sign for something in spirit, speak of it as if it has already arrived. This is your invisible receipt. Say, "I am so thankful for my new home," even if you still live in a rented room. Say, "I love the work I do," even if your current job drains you. Say, my body radiates perfect health, even if the symptoms have not yet vanished. These are the words of a person who has signed for the delivery. This act confuses doubt, because doubt only thrives when it sees gaps. When you speak and act as if the blessing is in your possession, doubt has no place to land. It withers, and when doubt withers, faith blooms, and faith is the ultimate courier of blessings. You may think, Florence, is it really this simple? Yes, my dear, but do not mistake simplicity for weakness. The most powerful spiritual laws are simple. It is the human mind that tries to complicate them. If you wish to have the thing, sign for it in spirit today. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for a feeling of worthiness. Do not wait for proof. Heaven's contracts are signed in the currency of now. So I ask you, what will you sign for today? Will you keep your hands empty and your name absent from the ledger, or will you take your pen, your thought, your word, your feeling, and mark it boldly across the unseen paper of spirit? The choice and the blessing are both yours. To sign for your blessing in spirit, you must first understand this truth: the unseen is more real than the seen. The seen is the photograph, the unseen is the negative from which it is printed. Too many of you try to edit the photograph when the real work is done in the negative. This is why your invisible signature matters. You are marking the original before it is developed into your life. The first step in signing is recognition. You must recognize that the blessing exists now, not in some distant future, not after a struggle, not if the right person comes along. Now. Recognition is the handshake that begins the transaction. When you say, yes, I see it in spirit, you are acknowledging that it is already created and waiting for you. I have seen miracles begin at the moment of recognition. A woman once came to me desperate for funds to pay her rent. She had begged, borrowed, and tried everything in the visible, yet nothing worked. I told her, you will not see it until you see it in the unseen. Recognize it as already here. She went home and began to thank God for the rent, as if it had been handed to her. Within 2 days, an old debt was repaid to her unexpectedly, covering the exact amount. That is the power of recognition. It is the first flourish of your invisible pen. The second step is naming. You cannot sign for something you have not clearly named. The spiritual realm responds to specificity. Do not say, I want more money. That is vague, and leaves too much open space for the wrong delivery. Say, I receive $5,000 to cover my expenses with ease and joy. Do not say, I want a better job. Say, I receive my perfect work, where I am happy, well paid, and valued. Naming is the address on the envelope. Without it, your blessing may circle endlessly, without finding you. Once you have recognized and named your blessing, the third step is claiming. This is the act of spiritual possession. It is when you stop acting like someone in pursuit and start behaving like someone in ownership. Claiming is not arrogance, it is alignment. When I say, this is mine by divine right, I am not taking from another, I am receiving from the infinite supply that belongs to us all. A garden does not run out of seeds when one flower blooms. The claiming of your blessing does not diminish the blessings of others. The fourth step is sealing your signature with feeling. Thought without feeling is a half-signed document. Words without feeling are dry ink. Feeling is the golden seal pressed into the paper of spirit. It is the emotion of already having it. The joy, the relief, the gratitude. You must live in that feeling as if it were your address. When the blessing arrives, it will knock on the door of your joy. If you are dwelling in worry, you will not hear it. Now, here is where many fail. They sign once and then, in moments of fear or doubt, they erase their own name. They begin to say, maybe it's not for me, maybe I was wrong to believe. My dear, heaven does not misaddress packages. What you have signed for is still on its way, unless you return it with your own words. This is why consistency is key. Keep signing in your thoughts, keep signing in your words, keep signing in your feelings, until the day the postman of spirit hands it to you in the visible. Let me give you this refresher, so you do not forget. The unseen is the vault, the seen is only the display window. If you walk past the window and see nothing, it does not mean the vault is empty. The moment you signed, your request was placed in that vault with your name on it. Do not walk away before it is brought to the front. And remember, every time you rehearse your blessing in your mind, every time you speak of it with gratitude, every time you rest in the feeling of ownership, you are reinforcing your signature. You are saying, "This is mine. I know it. I expect it. I prepare for it." The preparation itself is proof of belief. Would you set the table for a guest you doubted would come? When you set the table in faith, you signal to the unseen that you are ready to receive. I tell my students, faith is the ink, and consistency is the pen. Without both, your signature will fade, but when you sign in faith and keep the pen moving daily, your blessing becomes inevitable. This is not wishful thinking, it is divine law. Once your invisible signature is placed, you must guard it as you would a precious jewel. For the moment you write your name in spirit, there are forces, not of evil, but of ignorance, that will try to smudge it. Fear will come with its damp fingers. Doubt will try to blur the ink, and careless words will attempt to scratch it out. Many blessings are lost, not because heaven refused them, but because the receiver tore up the receipt before the delivery came. Guarding your signature begins with guarding your mouth. I have told my students many times your words are the ink and the eraser. The moment you say, "It isn't working," you have erased what you wrote. The moment you say, "I knew it wouldn't happen," you have torn up the paper entirely. You cannot speak lack and sign for abundance at the same time. It is like trying to open and close a door in the same moment. Nothing passes through. The next shield you must raise is the shield against other people's opinions. There are those who will not understand the law you walk in, who will try to pull you down to the level of what they see, not what is promised. They will say, "Don't get your hopes up," as if hope were a dangerous thing. I tell you, get your hopes so high they touch the ceiling of heaven, for it is the high hope, the unshakable expectation, that signals to the universe. This one is ready. Deliver their good without delay. I recall a woman who had signed in spirit for a home of her own. She told her friends of the vision, and they laughed. "In this economy," they said, "be realistic." But she refused to let their unbelief touch her invisible signature. She guarded her mind as if it were a locked garden. She walked through model homes as if they were hers. She thanked God for her address daily, and she refused to speak of the matter with those who could not see. Within months, the perfect house came into her possession, and those same friends stood in her living room, marveling at what luck had brought her. It was not luck, it was a guarded signature. Guarding also means protecting your inner conversation. What you mutter to yourself in quiet moments matters just as much as what you say aloud. Some of you pray boldly, then under your breath whisper, "But what if it doesn't happen?" My dear, the universe hears whispers just as clearly as shouts. Do not let the murmur of doubt become the background music of your soul. Replace it instantly with truth. When fear says, "What if it doesn't come?" answer with, "It is mine now by divine right. It cannot be withheld." Here is your refresher. Faith is not only signing for your blessing, it is keeping the paper dry until it is delivered. Do not lay it down in the rain of negativity. Do not hand it to the careless. Keep it folded in your heart where no storm can reach. Another vital guard is gratitude in advance. Gratitude is like a wax seal over your signature. It keeps it untampered with. When you live in gratitude for what is already yours in spirit, you shut the door on thieves like fear and impatience. Fear says, "It might not come." Gratitude answers, "It is already here." Impatience says, "Why is it taking so long?" Gratitude replies, "It is on perfect time. My delivery is secure." Finally, guarding means refusing to chase what you have already claimed. Chasing is the energy of lack. It is the act of someone who has not signed. When you have signed for a package at the post office, you do not follow the delivery truck home, peering through the windows to see if your box is inside. You go home, knowing it will arrive. To guard your blessing is to rest in that knowing. So each day, check your invisible paper. Is your signature still bold, or has it begun to fade under the smudge of careless thoughts and words? If it has, rewrite it in faith. Re-sign with gratitude. Reaffirm with joy. Because once your name is secure in the unseen, your blessing cannot lose its way to you. Once your invisible signature is guarded, you must prepare the doorway of your life to receive the delivery. I have seen many sign for their blessings, keep their name intact, and yet when the knock comes, they are not ready to open the door. They are like one who orders a grand piano but leaves no space for it in the room, and so the delivery men must turn away. Preparation is proof of belief. You cannot say, I know it is mine, and yet live in a way that shows you are unready. If you have signed for new work, prepare your schedule and your wardrobe as if you are already in that position. If you have signed for a home, begin to release what you would not take with you and gather what belongs in your new space. This is not fantasy, it is faith in action. Faith without action is like a letter without a stamp, it remains in the sender's hand. And I tell you this, the universe respects readiness. When you are ready, you send out a spiritual signal that says, all is in order here, the blessing can land without hindrance. A woman once told me she had signed in spirit for a husband who shared her faith and values. I asked her, if he were to knock on your door tonight, would your life be arranged to welcome him? She laughed, then admitted it was not. She still entertained relationships that drained her, still spoke words that would repel the very man she claimed to desire. When she cleared her space, both her home and her heart, he appeared within weeks. Readiness is not just outer order, it is inner openness. Many pray for their blessing but are closed to the channel through which it may come. You must not tell God how to deliver, only that you are willing to receive. If you say, it must come from this person, in this way, by this date, you are locking half the doors through which it could arrive. The invisible signature is honored by open hands, not clenched fists. Let me give you a refresher so you do not miss this. Your readiness is the landing strip for your blessing. Without it, the plane may circle but never touch down. Keep the runway clear with order, expectation, and trust. Some of you have been signing for financial increase, yet you leave your accounts, your bills, your budget in disarray. If more money were to arrive, it would find chaos, not stewardship. Spirit will not deliver where there is no container. Begin to arrange your finances in a way that honors the increase you expect. Even if you have only $1, treat it with the respect you would give to 1,000. This is not about the amount, it is about the energy you create around it. Likewise, if you have signed for healing, prepare your body and mind for the life you will live when you are well. Speak health over yourself daily. Imagine your movements free from pain or restriction. Make room for vitality to dwell in you. When the blessing comes, it must find its rightful home. I have told my students, the blessing is never late, and it is never lost, but it will not force its way into a place unprepared. You must live now as if you already possess it, not as if you are waiting for proof. Proof comes to the one who already stands in possession by faith. So I ask you, if the delivery came this very day, would it find you ready? Would the room be cleared, the table set, the heart expectant? If the answer is no, then you have your work for today. Clear the space, physically and spiritually, so that when the knock comes, you can fling the door wide and say, I have been expecting you, come in. Once your blessing arrives, the work is not over, for now you must seal it, so it is never stolen, never drained, never allowed to slip back into the realm of the unseen. I have watched people receive the very thing they prayed for, only to lose it through carelessness, fear, or the old patterns they never let go of. The invisible signature brought it in, the seal of spirit keeps it there. You must first seal it with words of ownership. The day your blessing arrives, speak over it. This is mine by divine right, and it remains mine. No person, no condition, no circumstance can take it from me. Do not entertain thoughts of loss. Do not begin to look over your shoulder wondering when it will disappear. That is like signing for a package and then leaving it outside in the rain. Your blessing needs the shelter of your faith. A woman once came to me after receiving a large sum of money. It was more than she had ever possessed at once. She was grateful, but soon she began to say, I'm afraid it will go too quickly. Within months, it was gone, spent on things she did not value, siphoned away by those who saw her fear. I told her, the law is precise. You created the very loss you feared. You must speak stability over your good, not fragility. Sealing also means aligning your actions with your new reality. When a man signs for a house, he does not continue to sleep under the bridge. When you have received your good, live in it fully. If it is love, nurture it. If it is health, use it to bless your life and the lives of others. If it is money, handle it as a wise steward, not a frightened beggar. Spirit does not give you something to watch you throw it away. Let me give you your refresher here. What you bless, blesses you. What you fear, flees from you. Keep blessing your blessing, see it as stable, rooted, and ever increasing. Fear is the moth that eats at the fabric of your good. blessing is the garment bag that preserves it. Another way to seal your blessing is through thanksgiving that never ends. Many give thanks the day they receive, then forget the source once they are comfortable. But gratitude is not a ceremony for the moment of arrival, it is the constant fragrance that keeps the air of your life sweet. Wake each day saying, I am so grateful for the good that has come, and for the more that is on its way. Gratitude says to the universe, I am a safe place for more. You must also refuse to reduce your expectation after receiving. Some feel guilty when their blessing comes, as if they have taken more than their share, but the supply of spirit is infinite. Your receiving does not rob another. In fact, it creates proof in the world that the law works, inspiring others to claim their own. When you seal your blessing, you keep the door open for others to receive theirs, and never forget, to keep your blessing, you must remain in the vibration that brought it. If joy brought it, do not let sorrow settle in. If faith brought it, do not let doubt take the wheel. The same spiritual climate that delivered it is the one that will keep it thriving. Shift your inner weather, and you will see the outer change. Keep your skies clear, and your air warm with praise. So when the blessing is in your hands, see it not as the end of the process, but as the beginning of a new stewardship. You are now the caretaker of what Spirit has trusted you with. Treat it with reverence, and it will multiply. Treat it with neglect, and it will return to the unseen, waiting for another who is ready to seal it. Now I tell you, there is one more truth you must carry. If you wish your invisible signature to always draw its delivery, you must live as if every day is signing day. Many of you only sign when you feel desperate, when you have a need so pressing that you come to Spirit in urgency. But the law does not thrive on emergency. It thrives on constancy. Think of the wealthy merchant who orders goods regularly. Not only when his shelves are empty, he keeps his supply flowing because he continues to place the order. In the same way, you must be placing your order in the unseen daily, not from a place of panic, but from a place of quiet certainty. This is not about demanding. It is about acknowledging. Each morning you can say, today, I sign again for the abundance that is mine. I sign again for health, for love, for peace, for provision. Do not wait for lack to remind you to sign. That is like waiting for your stomach to be in pain before you eat. Keep your soul well fed with expectation. I have said before, and I say again, whatever you constantly expect, you eventually experience. Some of you are listening to me now and wondering, but what if the blessing I desire is too large, too unlikely, too far away? I will tell you, the size of the blessing is irrelevant in the unseen. The same hand that delivers a coin can deliver a kingdom. The work is the same. It is not the delivery that is difficult. It is the belief that must be fortified. Here is your refresher. The law is never strained by size. It is only strained by doubt. Stop measuring the possibility by your bank account, your background, or your current conditions. The law works in spirit, and spirit is not bound by these outer measures. A woman once told me she dared to sign for an amount of money so large that her friends laughed at her. She kept signing in the unseen, not with frantic effort, but with calm repetition. She began to walk with the posture of one who had already received. One day, through channels she could never have predicted, the exact amount arrived, down to the cent. She said to me, it was like the money had been searching for me all along, but it could not find me until I signed my name. So I say to you, your work is not to figure out how the delivery will come, but to ensure the signature is there every single day. Make it your practice to speak ownership over your blessings before they are in sight. Call them by name, claim them by right, and carry yourself as the rightful heir, and know this. There is no expiration date on your claim unless you write it yourself in fear or forgetfulness. Keep your claim alive. Keep your signature fresh. Do not let the ink of your faith fade because you grew weary or impatient. Every day you sign is another day. The package moves closer. Live in such a way that when the knock comes you are never surprised, only ready. Then when the door opens, you can say with a steady heart, yes, this is mine. I have been expecting you. Beloved, you now hold the pen in your spirit. You have learned that blessings are not accidents, that they do not stumble into your life unmarked. They arrive because you named them, claimed them, signed for them in the invisible before they ever touched your hand. You have seen that your signature is made of words, of belief, of unwavering ownership. You have learned to keep your claim alive. to bless what is yours, to guard it with the shelter of faith, and to refuse fear's handwriting upon your life. So I say to you, sign today, sign again tomorrow, sign until the air around you is filled with the fragrance of expectation. Call your health by name, call your wealth by name, call love, peace, opportunity, and divine right success by name, and watch how swiftly the universe becomes your courier. You are not a beggar at the gates of chance, you are the rightful heir, standing at the door of divine supply. If you are ready for this law to work in your life, speak now in the comments. I have signed for my blessing, it is mine, it is on its way. Let the world see your declaration, and let the unseen world seal it as done. Then share this message, so that others may learn to sign for their good and receive without delay. Your pen is ready. The document is drawn. The delivery is certain. Sign and receive.